there's pros and cons to that, because if people were searching for that game, they wouldn't spell it like that. So again, from an ASO point of view, that probably wasn't the smartest idea, no. But then again, I don't care.
This is the Rising High Extended Tea Break, the game dev podcast bringing you the best practical, actionable advice for indie game developers. Brought to you by RisingHighAcademy.com. The kettle's on, so let's go listen in.
Hey there, and welcome to episode 5 of the Rising High Extended Tea Break. My name's Kevin, and I am joined with Gilly today. Hello, Gilly.
Hello.
How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, so what we got in store for today?
What are you going to name your game?
How to name your game. Interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of questions we get related to what am I going to call it?
Yeah, so for us, again, if you've not listened before, we sort of focus on the casual mobile market. So we'll be looking on the App Store, and generally speaking, you will see probably before Crossy Road, but certainly after Crossy Road, that spawned a lot of these
kooky names.
Yeah. 2-word rhymey games.
Yeah.
Right? So, Blocky Riders, Crossy Road, Shooty Skies, Faily Breaks, all of these kind of things, which are kind of trendy. But the thing to remember about this is that those fun names match the game.
Fun game.
Yeah. So there's an expectation there
that it's going to be fun play.
There is, yeah,
mainly
exactly.
Arcade as well.
That's a good point. Yeah, exactly. Mainly arcadey sort of games with these fun, silly names, usually 2 words. Now we've done our fair share of those.
Yeah.
Slippy Slopes, Dashy Panda.
Yeah, we did.
And it kind of fitted for those games that we built because they were that sort of fun arcadey games. Generally speaking, we tend to make more chilled games, I'd like to say. Not necessarily chilled, but more...
Yeah, the more chilled games, we've gone for like a game reflection name like Parallels.
Yeah, they're more...
Everything was set on a parallel kind of thing.
I like the one-word names, I just do. I don't know why. I mean, for ASO purposes, it's pretty rubbish. Now, of course, we can do the subline or subtitle... or the strapline or whatever they call it in the iTunes store.
Come up on iTunes,
which is also hangs with your ASO, so that helps a little bit. So we can put a strapline underneath to be a little bit more descriptive. Now, days gone by, there used to be these. You used to have a character limit of like 256 or something for the.
Yeah, and some people used them all as well.
They did. It was very much back in the day. There would be
to include every single game that was trending and popular.
Ninja,
and
on. Yeah, that's right. Temple Run, Flinging, Pigs, Angry Sheep, right? So we avoid that at all costs because that's just useless and it's just rubbish and looks horrible. But the main point really is to name your game name. For me, should be an encompassing word that
reflects your game.
Exactly, that is exactly the word I was looking for. Thank you. It reflects your game. It's descriptive of it. Now, that said, you can play around with some spellings of various names. We did our first game, Flight, was spelled incorrectly. It's FLITE, not IGHT, right? So we went with that. Now, there's pros and cons to that, because if people were searching for that game, they wouldn't spell it like that. So again, from an ASO point of view, that probably wasn't the smartest idea, no. But then again, I don't care, and I say that in all seriousness, because I like to name our products what I want to name them, and I want it to fit the game. You said Parallels, and I think that's a great example, because that for us took an absolute age to come up with that name.
I didn't think we were ever going to actually get there.
So how do we come up with our names? Well, we are old school, as we've said in previous episodes. We have a whiteboard and markers. And when we're building our games, we will start writing down words. And we like to think of the name of the game as early as possible. Because for one, it makes it become real. It puts a tight, it's like, oh, we're building a game. No, let's give it a name.
Yeah, that's right. It makes it more of a thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And we'll definitely have what do they call it? It's like a temporary name. I can't think of the word, what they call it. But we will have like a temporary name to start with, to name it something as we're building it.
I mean, it's like glides. That's kind of started off linear.
Yeah, it did, because we were using
paths.
We were using the action of the game. What do you do in the game? And that was the jump off point to start off that name process.
Yeah.
And by having the whiteboard here, now you don't have to use a whiteboard. You can use a bit of paper or something. But I like the whiteboard because you can't get rid of it, and you got to walk past it all the time, and it's in your face, right? You have to look at it all the time. And it just keeps it top of mind to keep thinking of. It's like it will snap.
Variance.
Yeah, and something will snap or click is probably a better way of putting it. Something will click and you go, that's got something to it. Now we have used the online dictionary sites. They're like Word Hippo is one.
Hippo, yeah, I've used that. Yeah,
and those sort of things to like get similar words to, and that can be a good one to sort of base your ideas from. So start off with what you're doing in the game, or maybe your character, and go onto one of these sites and do words similar to glide or something and see what comes up. Now the sort of second part of that is someone might have already had the name. It's like now if you try and buy a domain name. Oh yeah,
I know we used to kind of reserve it in iTunes.
Yeah, I'm not sure that actually works. No,
now. I don't know if it's the same anymore now.
I know for a fact that if someone came up with like a finance app and they can name it the same as another app in a different category. Because we actually have this right now, and it is Santander Bank app. And I think that might be called Flight. One of our games, because I did a search for it and it blew me pieces on the search. And I was pretty miffed about that. But it's spelled exactly the same, wrongly. And that comes up. So I'm not, you can't hold us to this, but I'm pretty sure you can have the same name, sort of. But if it's in the same if it's in the gaming category.
So
if we're talking about games,
taken it.
you can't have the same name in the game. I'm pretty sure that's right.
I know. Often we've thought of. You've said to me, "Oh, that's a really good name for a game," and we'll just go into iTunes and log it.
Yeah, exactly. We still have many names reserved.
Yeah.
I mean, Ketchup is a great example of this. And they come up with these one-word names, like balls.
Most of their stuff is one.
How on earth have you managed to get that name? It's like, have you bought that app or something or someone? But anywho, we like to put the whiteboard up and keep looking at it, and something will eventually click to get that name. I do tend to like the one-word names, but it needs to match the game that you're building. These two words, the crossy roads and all that, they are fun, and it needs to reflect that. So the other approach is having like these kooky names that don't actually mean anything to anybody, but it's the name of your product.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what would be an example?
Spelt really weirdly.
Spelt weirdly, spelt weirdly, or maybe like, I suppose Google is a good example, which doesn't really mean anything. It probably does mean, so I'm sorry if it does, if it's like some Latin for search or something. But it's that kind of thing. And you see a lot of people take out letters.
Take out vowels.
Take out vowels and stuff like that.
Completely.
Or, I suppose, one of the sites like called Fiverr is double R.
Like 2 R's.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. So you can play around with that. Now, again, like we said with the flight, with the misspelling, it's kind of on the same ilk. So you need to be wary about your ASO on this sort of stuff. But the good thing about having these weird spelling names is that if someone actually searches for it with the way you've spelt it, normally
the correct way, it will come up.
It will come up first, or at least 9 times out of 10, it'll be the only one. So especially if if you're running some sort of social campaign or something, search for Google. And I don't search for Google. That's like the worst example in the biggest.
So if you're searching for Fiverr.
Yeah, if you're searching for Fiverr with a double R, you will come up. So you can push people to it to search, and that can influence the trending results and all that kind of stuff. Again, another topic for another day, but that's something to just sort of keep in the back of your mind, that it can really help with that. 9 times out of 10, I'm not a big fan of this, because like we said with the fly, it's like if someone does search for it and it depends how they found it or heard about it, it's not going to come up.
But then you could put the true spelling in your keywords.
Well, that's very true, absolutely, and variants as well.
Keyword up.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. So you could even put it in the strapline as well, which will have more weight than the keywords.
So I noticed on iTunes when you're viewing, you get like the developer, and then that fades and it goes to the strapline.
It flips over, sort of. I don't know if that's a quirk in the new App Store, but it does flip up quick, doesn't it? Yeah, I've
you've got to be quick
too.
if you want to catch who's made it.
Yeah. I mean, you will get the developer underneath as well.
Yeah.
But it does sort of flash up over the top. Yeah. So, I mean, naming your game, I don't know. I don't think there's much more we can add to that. I mean, it's kind of personal, I feel. It definitely makes it become real once that name's been chosen.
It depends. It depends if you're doing arcade. If you're doing a platformer, you might want to call it someone's adventure, or
that's a good
take
point.
a character name.
Yeah, character names.
Like Alto.
Yeah, that's a really good example, actually. So you could, and Leo's Fortune as well. Another great name based on the character in the game. I don't know what else that sort of obviously Sonic the Hedgehog and all that.
Mario.
And Mario. I mean, they're just you can't
not know them.
Well, no, but I think that's slightly. Well, it's not slightly different, is it? I mean, they've gone that route, and now they built a brand around that character. It's funny as well because you think about that, and I don't know if I'm wrong here or not, but Angry Birds, right?
Yeah.
But they've sort of built. I mean, obviously they had a film out of it.
Built everything.
But they've done the collective name of it.
Yeah.
So it could be like the group of characters, or I suppose a race or a species as well. I mean, you really are open to naming it anything you want. I'm a big fan of like memorable names and slightly unusual names, I think. Or, again, it depends on the type of game.
Yeah.
I definitely go the 2-word thing if you're doing a fun arcade game. Like, what was it, Steppy Pants? Or those sort of, but you just laughed, right?
Yeah.
But people will remember that, and it literally does what it says on the tin. So that there's a lot to be said for that. You mentioned faily breaks as well. If you don't know what faily breaks is, do a search on the App Store. Probably come up number 1. It's a car without any brakes. They've sort of like
it is what it says.
They've double bubbled it. They've got the double name, and it's completely reflects the game.
Rodeo Stampede as well.
Yeah.
You straight away know exactly what the game is going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people kind of, it's like, I don't know if it's Mario Fun Run.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a runner.
Yeah, quite.
Adventure.
I mean, a lot of this might sound quite obvious, but it does take a lot of time, and of course you've got to choose it, and someone else has taken it. That's a good point. So it takes some thought about this. Yeah. There's no right or wrong answer here.
I mean, you can think a bit about what people are searching for as well. People might just think, well, I don't know what the game's going to be called. I'll search adventure. Yeah,
I mean, adventure's a tricky one. Again, coming back to the ASO, because you will actually get ranked for adventure if you're in the adventure category. So there's, the ASO thing. We are not experts in ASO. So I don't want to sort of shout about any sort of benefits or non-benefits from doing it.
We used to delve into it a little bit more than we do.
We do.
Now.
I just not as effective as it used to be.
No, I don't think so.
It can definitely help. My gut on the ASO is more to do with utilities.
Yeah.
If you've got an egg timer, then you can do kitchen timer and all of that, right? Just for games, I think it's a better approach to have something fun, or stylish, or whatever fits the game, to try and stamp your authority on that name as your game.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't touched on any of the jumping on keywords or anything like that, which a lot of people still do. I don't know how effective that is. It's all a bit naff. But you can jump trends.
Hit and miss sometimes. If you're going to jump a trend, you've got to be fast.
Yeah, you've got 2 days, right? And there's a lot of people who release the games based off memes and viral YouTube videos and all that. That's not really what we're talking about today, but you can do all that. There's some people see success with that. It's not our bag. We don't really go into that. But yeah, I think for us, when naming the game, the most important is that it should encompass everything that your game is about. And for us, we like the stylish ones. That's it, really. As long as you can get it, much like we sort of touched on before, with if you're trying to buy, it's like you try and buy a domain name now, you can't get it because it's already been taken. And there's a lot of that as well. I think there was one of our games ages ago. We had the perfect name, and I was just so sold on it, and it was just you
couldn't have it,
and we couldn't get it. Now,
I can't remember what it was now.
The other thing as well, a lot of people put punctuation at the end.
We did with glide at the beginning. We put a bullet. We put a bullet.
I
think that's a bullet point.
Yeah, that's the English translation. Thank you. Yeah, but you can put dots and you can put exclamation marks. So that is definitely a thing. You've got a problem with being confused with other ones, and if it's a big company, they might send you a letter.
Yeah, they might not take too kindly to it.
So it's not
worth going down that road.
It's not normally, no. But there is ways that you can sort of crowbar your name if you're dead set on it. But overall, I think coming up with your game name is one of the tricky things. It's like whenever you're starting a business, what should we call a business name?
Yeah.
And you'll have people that spend 6 weeks trying to think of the perfect name. And quite honestly, generally speaking, there isn't ever the perfect name. You can't let it hold you back. But yeah, I would use that approach. Using the online dictionary sites is a good way to start.
Don't analyse it too much, I don't think.
No,
just be happy with it.
Yeah, get that working title in. Because that will do one or two things. Either the working title that you choose will stick, and you go, actually, I kind of like this, or it's so annoying that you'll have to change it and put more energy into it.
I think one thing is when you are settled on a game name is to put it in iTunes.
Yeah, I would say
there's nothing worse than having this grand name like we had.
Yeah.
And you get halfway through the game, you think, well, actually, we really need to get this into iTunes.
That's right.
And it's a no.
Yeah, I think if you've got any sort of half maybes, just pop them in.
Yeah.
And do a quick search as well and see what comes up as well. Because it might be that it's too close to another one.
Yeah.
And it might
put your name into iTunes, see what comes up.
Yeah, especially if you're umming and ahhing about a particular name, you think, oh, this is pretty good. Let's do a quick search. There's only 3 results. Well, actually, that's not a bad thing. So we might run with that because we got a better chance of ranking for it.
Did you do that with Flight then?
Actually,
or did Santander come up with that after?
No, they're definitely after because I don't know why I searched for it the other day. But it came up and I thought, you guys are our name, what are you doing? But yeah, they're one of the biggest banks in the world, so I'm not exactly going to get on the phone or anything. But yeah, they definitely outrank us, which is disappointing. So I think that just about wraps that up, Julie. Biggest takeaway?
Biggest takeaway, get your name into iTunes ASAP as soon as you're settled on it.
Yeah, just get your name logged and secured so there's no curveballs when you come to submit your game and you'll be golden. Okay, so thanks so much for listening to the show today. I hope you got some value from it. Of course, you can hit that subscribe button if you're liking what we're doing. And if you're feeling super generous, a nice rating or review would go a long way. We would super appreciate it. You can head over to RisingHighAcademy.com for all the show notes. We'd love to see you over there. Check out what we've got on offer. And on that note, we will say goodbye for now.
Yes, speak soon.
You've been listening to the Rising High Extended Tea Break. To learn more about the resources mentioned in today's show, or to find out more about the Rising High Academy, visit RisingHighAcademy.com. That's RisingHighAcademy.com.